Hello, young minds and curious hearts. Join us on an exciting journey into the magical world of Srimad Bhagavat Purana, a treasure trove of ancient stories and timeless teachings. It's a divine scripture that resonates with the essence of spiritual knowledge and eternal truths. So let's begin the quest. Imagine stepping into a world where stories come alive and every page is a portal to a different adventure. That's what Srimad Bhagavat Purana is all about. Authored by the wise sage Vedavyas, it's like a magical map guiding us through the mysteries of life. Embark with us on a spiritual journey as we unravel the profound teachings, enchanting stories, and divine wisdom embedded in the sacred verses of Srimad Bhagavat Puranam, guiding us towards a deeper understanding of the cosmic order and the divine mysteries of existence. In this series, we are going to explore cool stories about creation of the universe, meet fascinating characters and go on adventures with Lord Krishna, our favorite Lord Krishna. And it's like reading the coolest comic book filled with superheroes and magical places. But this one is packed with wisdom and love. But wait, there's more. We won't just talk about the stories. We'll also learn how to make magic happen in our own lives. From being kind to making friends, we'll discover practical tips from Srimad Bhagavat Purana that can make our days brighter and more fun. Once upon a time, in the world of ancient stories, there was a very special book called Srimad Bhagavat Purana. Imagine it as a magical adventure filled with tales of gods, goddesses, and exciting journeys. Among all the important books in the world, like really important ones which are called as Vedas, Srimad Bhagavat Purana was like the coolest storybook ever. It's not just any storybook, it's a magical book written by a wise person named Vedavyas. This special book is like a treasure chest of wisdom and love. While other books talk about smart things, this one also makes your heart feel warm and happy. It's like adding a special ingredient to make everything extra awesome, just like how you are. Extra awesome. Come on, let's learn about the immortal story. It's very, very cool. Let's dive into the story about the powerful Lord Shiva and his wife Parvati. Shiva had a garland made of heads. They were beautiful heads of beautiful ladies. But they were not just heads, they were Parvatis. Each time she got a new body, he kept a head to remember her. That super special love story. Parvati wanted to hear a story that made Shiva immortal. So they went to a magical place called Kailash. Shiva started telling a story, but he needed Parvati to say Hunkar to make sure she was listening to him. Just like when I'm telling a story to you, you are going to reply me with a Hunkar. So whatever I'm going to tell you, you're going to reply me with a sound. Making sure that you're listening to me, I want you to reply with me with a sound. The same way, Shiva also wanted Parvati to say this sound so that he'll ensure that Parvati is listening to the story. But here is a twist in the story. So, one time, Narada is like the postman in those days who wanted to create jealousy in the heart of Parvati. He waited for a time where Lord Shiva was not present with Parvati. He went to Parvati and gave her a thought about the garland in the chest of Shiva, which consisted of different heads of beautiful ladies. He asked Parvati, Dear Parvati, he used to call Parvati as Ma, so let us consider it as Ma. Ma, have you ever thought about the heads which are present over the garland of Lord Shiva? They look like very beautiful ladies. Are you not angry with that? Have you ever asked him about this? So one day, Parvati was very, very curious. Just like the small kids you are, Parvati was also feeling curious about the heads. So one day, she went to Lord Shiva and asked him, Oh my lord, I wanted to ask you a question. I have seen you wearing this garland of heads, and the heads are of very beautiful ladies. And who do is these heads belong to? Then Lord Shiva ignored her question for straight 3 days. He did not answer Parvati, which annoyed her to an extent. And the last on the third day, Parvati was very furious, and she asked, "My lord, now I'm very curious and impatient. Now I really want to know whose these heads are. So please don't deny my request and please answer me. Whose heads are these?" Then Lord Shiva replied, "Oh, my dear Parvati, you are my wife. These heads belong to you. All the times you left your body, all the times you went out of your body, I was so attached to you that I can never get rid of your heads. So all the times you left your body, I collected them and wore it as my garland. All these heads belong to you, my dear Parvati." So this way, Lord Shiva replied to Parvati saying that the heads belong to her. But now, Parvati being the curious person, she asked again, "Oh my lord, if I, wife of you, has been giving up on my body all the time and taking different bodies. Being my husband, you never gave up your body. You've always been in this body. May I know what is the secret behind this?" Then Lord Shiva said, "Dear Parvati, I have a boon. I have an immortal story. The immortal story which helped me become immortal and through which I am benefited not to leave this body forever. This immortal story in the book of Srimad Bhagavat Purana is called as the Amar Katha." So let's know what happened next. Parvati was excited and she wanted to hear the story that made Shiva immortal. So they wanted to uh, go to a place which is very quieter and nobody could hear the story, because Amar Katha is very special story, because it's going to make a person immortal. They don't have to die and leave their body. So Parvati requested Lord Shiva to tell him the story. So Lord Shiva got convinced, but he also stated that no other living entity is going to listen to this story, because whoever is going to listen to this story is going to become immortal. Like, if everyone is going to listen to this story, obviously everyone is going to become immortal. So they wanted to go to a quieter place, so they went to Kailash. So when they went to Kailash, Lord Shiva clapped twice to ensure that no living entity is present there. So in that way, Lord Shiva wanted to start the story and asked Parvati to hunkar, like I said in the beginning, to say reply to him while he was telling the story, because the story is having in depth knowledge about everything regarding life. So it gets people into a trance where they get into a sleep. So the same way, while reciting the story, Lord Shiva might get into a position of samadhi. Samadhi here means in a position where he gets into divine sleep. It's like Nidra Yoga. So while telling the story, if Parvati keeps on saying sound, ensuring that she's listening to Lord Shiva, then Lord Shiva will not get into the position of Samadhi, the divine sleep. So that way, Lord Shiva started the story. While Lord Shiva was telling the story, he was unknown to the fact that there was a little egg on top of the tree. And while the story has been started, the egg was hatched and a little baby parrot came out of this egg. And while Lord Shiva was narrating the story to Parvati regarding different things, different superheroes, and everything, the parrot was also listening to the stories and it was very much engrossed in the stories, just like Parvati. So Parvati was totally into the story until the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavat Purana. From the 11th canto, it was in-depth knowledge about different things that Parvati didn't know, but she fell asleep. But the parrot didn't want the story to end. It wanted more and more. Just like when our grandma used to tell us the stories and we want her to tell more and more, the parrot also wanted Lord Shiva to tell more and more of the story. It didn't want it to end. So it made the sound called hunkar just like Parvati did. The parrot started saying whenever Lord Shiva was narrating the story. And in the end, while the story has ended, Parvati woke up. Parvati Ma woke up and she said, "Dear Lord, we were saying something in the 10th canto about the happenings of the story. I'm sorry I fell asleep." Lord Shiva was surprised. This is the time I'm ending the story, and you were hunkaring, you were saying and continue with the story, but now you're saying that I slept? But who was hunkaring? Who was saying the sound then? Then Lord Shiva became furious. Lord Shiva is actually an angry young man. Nobody wants to keep him angry. But he went furious because it's an immortal story. Amar Katha is like one amazing story. It will make people immortal. Now, who heard this story? And when he was searching the entire Kailash, he saw the baby parrot. And now he was very much annoyed. The baby parrot was now very, very scared. Now Lord Shiva is going to kill me. What am I gonna do? So it flew. It flew to the world of humans and it went into the ashram of Vedavyas. And there she saw the wife of Vedavyas and flew into her mouth and into the stomach. So it stayed in the stomach of Vedavyas' wife. So now the furious Lord Shiva was following the parrot, the baby parrot, and got into the ashram of Vedavyas. And then sage Vedavyas asked Lord Shiva, "Lord Shiva, why are you so furious? Please calm down and let me know what made you this angry." Then Lord Shiva said, "Look, Vedavyas, this baby parrot listened to my Amar Katha, the immortal story, without having the right to listen to it. It didn't have my permission to listen to it, but it had listened to everything that consisted in the stories. Now it became immortal and I'm very furious. I'm going to kill it." Vedavyas laughed. "Ha ha ha, Lord Shiva. Your statement has no sense. See, you are saying that the parrot has heard all your story. It heard all of the Amar Katha and now became Amar. It became immortal and it cannot die. So how can you, my lord, kill the parrot?" Then Lord Shiva calmed down and thought for a while and said, "Sage Vedavyas, you are right. I cannot kill the parrot now." This way Lord Shiva has left the ashram and the parrot is actually the greatest of the great Sukhadev. He is going to be the future narrator of Srimad Bhagavatam. So now we are going on a journey through Srimad Bhagavat Purana, where every story is like a hidden treasure. Join us and let's explore the magical tales together. So you're not alone in this journey. You can join our club of young explorers where we share our favorite parts of the stories and talk about how we can be superheroes in our lives. Let's make learning about wisdom and love super cool. So, right now, if you are very curious, you can comment down below about your favorite parts and your doubts regarding the story. And guess what? We are not just going to read words, we'll also use pictures, drawing, and sometimes even special guests to help us understanding the amazing stories. Get ready for a fun and colorful journey. If you are excited to be part of this amazing adventure, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Let's explore the world of Srimad Bhagavat Puranam together. May every story fill your heart with joy, wisdom, and lot of magical powers. Let's dive into the magic and I end my session today. It was so lovely narrating the stories to you. I hope you come back to me next. I'll let you know when I'm going to update the next story. Until then, bye kids.